Okay, Shreya, tell me what we have done up to yet.
Scale property and linear property.
We have done linear property. We have done change of scale property.
Uh,
Okay. Have we gone for multiplication and division by t?
no.
Not yet. Correct. Okay. So in this lecture, we are going to study what is the effect of multiplication by t on the Laplace transform, and what is the effect of division by t on Laplace transform. So basically, what we have to understand is always keep in mind the definition. Definition of Laplace transform is very important. So everything you can prove using the definition. Now, let us see. We'll study what will be the effect of Laplace transform on what will be the effect of multiplication by t on Laplace transform, and what is the effect of division by t on Laplace transform. So I hope all of you are able to see this.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's great. So we have to study the effect of multiplication by t. So here we know what is the Laplace transform of f of t. So we have to consider that first. So if Laplace transform of f of t is equal to f bar of s, then what will be the Laplace transform of t into f of t? This is what we want to find out. Now, we need to understand how we are able to get this. So the basic thing is the definition of Laplace transform. Okay, so we'll go with the proof. What we can have is let Laplace transform of f of t is equal to f bar of s is equal to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t d. Okay, so now we need to understand. I want t into f of t here. So instead of f of t, if I get t into f of t, then this term will be the Laplace transform of t into f of t. Okay. So we have one basic formula. What is the basic formula? D by dx of e raised to ax is equal to a into e raised to ax. Okay. Now I have this term e raised to minus st. If I use this formula with respect to s, then t will be the constant term, and if t is going to be constant term, I am able to take it down, or I will get it instead of a here in this formula. So basically, we have to differentiate this integral. But when we differentiate integral, we have the DUIS rule. So what is DUIS? Suppose I have I be the integral of lambda, integral from a to b, f of x lambda dx. So here this x is the variable of integration and lambda is the parameter. Then what I can do is I can differentiate this with respect to the parameter as I'll be having integral a to b dabba by dabba lambda f of x lambda and dx. So this is the differentiation under integral sign. Now, if I am able to use this differentiation under integral sign, so here I need to identify what is going to be the parameter. So here lambda is my parameter, and we have seen the definition. So in the definition we have seen that S is nothing but the frequency parameter. So if I have S is a frequency parameter, then I am able to use the differentiation under integral sign uh, with S as a parameter. So let us use differentiation under integral sign. So I have this is f bar of S is equal to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Okay. Now I'll using DIS under integral differentiation under integral sign. So using differentiation under integral sign with S as parameter, we get. So whenever you are using DIS, always declare what is the parameter that you are going to use. So here I have declared that I am going to use S as a parameter. So if I am having S as a parameter, then I can have this is d by ds of f bar of S is equal to integral 0 to infinity dabba by dabba S, and here I have e raised to minus st f of t dt. Okay, so you can see the DUIS where we have lambda as a parameter and here we have S as a parameter. So whatever we have lambda in this formula, okay. So whatever we have lambda in this formula, we have S here. Okay, and if I use now here what we have is F does not contain S, so only the term that contain S is e raised to minus st. So if I have e raised to minus st that contains S, then I can have see, then I can have this term. Okay, so if I differentiate this with respect to S, then I'll get integral 0 to infinity f of t remains as it is, and I'll be having dabba by dabba s of e raised to minus st dt. So now, as we know, what is the derivative of if I consider d by dx of e raised to ax, then it is a e raised to ax. So here, what we have, a is the constant, okay, and hence here minus t will be constant because we are differentiating with respect to s. So we get here integral 0 to infinity f of t, and what we get here, see the derivative, I'll be having minus t e raised to minus st and dt. Okay, so this way we are able to get the derivative. Now, if I simplify this, what I have, I can take this minus outside, then I'll be having 0 to infinity. Then I can write this as e raised to minus st t into f of t dt. Okay, so here what we have obtained d by ds of f bar of s. This minus sign I can take on the other hand side. So I'll write at minus 1 d by ds of f bar of s is equal to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st e into f of t dt. Now what we know is we know the integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt is nothing but Laplace transform of f of t. So whatever the function you have here, apart from this exponential function, this integral gives you the Laplace transform of that function. So you can see here what you have, the function here. So you can see the function here is t into f of t. So what is the right hand side? The right hand side is actually Laplace transform of t into f of t. So what is the left hand side? Minus 1 d by ds f bar of s. Okay, so I can write this as hence Laplace transform of f of t is equal to minus 1 times d by ds of f bar of s. So you can see if we use DUIS once, then we are able to get the Laplace transform of t into f of t. T into f of t is equal to minus 1 into d by ds of f bar of s. So what happens if I again differentiate this? Okay, so let us differentiate this one more time. Then I'll have one more t here, one more minus 1 here, one more derivative here. So if I go on differentiating like this, then I'll be having in general, okay, we have what you'll be having here. So Laplace transform of e raised to n into f of t. Because every time I differentiate, I'll get 1 minus 1 outside. So I'll be having n times I am going to differentiate. So I'll be having n times minus 1 into, and I have differentiated n times, but with respect to s. So dn by ds raised to n, and here I have this is f bar of s. So this is the formula in general that if I multiply the function n times by t, then on the right hand side I have to take the n derivative multiplied by minus 1 raised to n. So what we have obtained now, see, we were we have to find out this, and we have obtained this as this is going to be minus 1 into d by ds of f bar of s. So this is going to be the effect of multiplication by t on the Laplace transform. So I hope you have got this idea. So here we have calculated the we have calculated the Laplace transform of t into f of t, and also we have generalized that result. Okay. So is there any doubt in this proof, or is there any doubt in this property?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I hope you are all writing with me. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's good. So let us, yes. Actually, the proof is not asked in the examination, but proof shows us how we are able to get the results. Okay, so sometime proof may be asked or sometimes may not be asked. Okay, so let us try the examples based on this. So let's have the example. Now we'll try to have the example. Okay, so we can go with the example here. Okay, so example, find Laplace transform of f of t is equal to t into sine of at. Okay, so here we have to take this t into sine of at. Now we go with the solution. So LT is a standard abbreviation for Laplace transform. So whenever there is a standard abbreviation, I will always give you, but do not use your own abbreviations. Okay, so do not create your own abbreviations because sometimes they may be good one, but sometimes they may not be accepted, and hence we have to be very careful. Okay, now we have to find out the Laplace transform of this. So first we need to understand. Don't be in hurry. Okay, so first try to understand the problem, and then try to understand what is the method to solve that, and then solve the problem. Okay, so in Laplace transform, we don't have any formula for the product, and then Laplace is a linear operator, or it is a linearity property that we have seen. So we cannot operate Laplace for the multiplication, and hence if there is a multiplication of any two terms, then we need to understand that there is some property to be used. We cannot use direct multiplication. Okay, so while solving the problems of Laplace transform, you have to take care that you have to always solve from right to left. Okay, so this you need to understand. First, try to understand the problem, try to consider what are the steps involved in the problem, and then try to solve that steps. So here in this problem, what we have to do is we have to consider the function first. So we have the function. Always start your solution by writing what is given to you. So let f of t is equal to t into sine of at. And now we need to understand what are the steps. So we have to find out the Laplace transform from left, right to left. So first we have to find out the Laplace transform of this sine term, and then we have to use the property multiplication by t. Okay, so these are the two steps that we have to follow. Okay, so that we need to follow. Okay, now we consider example that we have. Yeah. Okay. So what we have to do is we just consider the two steps. Okay. So let us have these steps. So what we have here, this is going to be first step is finding the Laplace transform of sin 80. Second step is finding the Laplace transform using the property. Okay. So what we have here, then we have Laplace transform of sin of 80. So what is the Laplace transform of sin of 80?
A by
A
S
upon
square.
S square plus A square.
Correct. So it is going to be a upon s square plus a square. Okay. So our first step is easily completed because we know the formula, and hence it is easy to understand that Laplace transform of sin of 80 is equal to a upon s square plus a square. Now we have to consider. Okay. Now consider Laplace transform of f of t. So f of t is what given to you. So Laplace transform of t into sin of 80. So what we got here, see, because of this t will get minus 1 and d by ds of Laplace transform of sin of 80. Okay, because this is going to be f bar of s for us. Okay, this sin of 80 is f of t, and this is t into f of t. So f of t is here for the formula sin of 80, and hence this is going to be f bar of s, whatever we have in the formula. Now let us evaluate this. Okay, so what I'll get here, this is going to be minus 1 as it is. So it is minus 1. Then I have d by ds, and we have already calculated a upon s square plus a square. Okay, so now we need to understand this is going to be, so this is what we'll be having, minus 1 remains as it is. I can take this a outside, so minus 1 and a, I'll be having minus a. Then I have d by ds of 1 upon s square plus a square. So what is the formula to find out the derivative of this term? What will be the derivative of this term?
minus 2s by s
Then
square
1
plus
by
a
x square.
square the whole square.
Correct. So what is the formula we have? We have d by dx of 1 upon f of x. Okay. So what we have here, minus 1 upon, we get f of x bracket square, and then again d by dx of f of x. So this is what the formula we have to use. So we have to be careful. Okay. Now let us use this formula. So if I use this formula, what I'll get here, this is equal to minus a, then I'll be having, this is minus 1 upon s square plus a square bracket square into the derivative, that is going to be 2s. For this s square we get the derivative, so it is going to be 2s. And now what I can have is, so I'll be having minus 2as, this minus and this minus will become plus. So I'll be having plus 2ax, and it is going to be in the denominator s square plus a square bracket square. So what we obtained, actually we obtained the Laplace transform. So this side what we are getting, Laplace transform of f of t. So what we got here, this is Laplace transform of t into sine of at is equal to 2as upon s square plus a square bracket square. So that's how we are able to get the Laplace transform of sine t into sine of at. So now let us try some another example. So I hope you have got this example.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any doubt in this example? Okay, that we have calculated. So if any one of you have doubt, you can just ask me, no problem. Okay. So I hope it is clear. I hope you are all writing with me. Okay. So we'll go to the next example. Okay. So let us have the another example. Find Laplace transform of f of t is equal to t into cos of at. So in the previous example, we have seen what happens to the sin 80. Let us see what happens to the cos 80. So what we have to do is we have to go with the solution. Let always write what is given to you. So it is t into cos of 80. As I have told you earlier that always we have to solve the Laplace transform from right to left. And whatever the steps I am marking here, 1 and 2, that are for your understanding. Okay, so in examination, you may mark this by pencil. Okay, and then later on erase it. Okay, so once you are sure what are the steps you need to follow, then the problem becomes easy. You know the correct step, just remains the calculation. And I hope you are able to do the calculation very easily. So what we have here, we have in this case Laplace transform of cos of at. So what is the Laplace transform of cos of at?
S upon S square
S
plus
by
A
S
square.
square plus A square.
Correct. So we got s upon okay, s upon s square plus a square. Okay. So this is a simple using formula we are able to get it. So we got this one. Now the next step. Okay. So now we consider. Okay, so what we can have is, see, I want to find out the Laplace transform of f of t. So what this f of t is actually, it is Laplace transform of t into cos of at. So we got here, this is minus 1 due to t and d by ds due to this t. Then Laplace transform of cos of at, that already we have calculated. So it is s upon s square plus a square. So we got this now. Then here we need to be careful while taking the derivative. So this minus 1 remains here. And now we need to take the derivative. So we have s in the numerator also, s in the denominator also. So u upon v. What we have here, the numerator is also the function of variable and the denominator is also the function of variable. So we have to consider u upon v rule, and it is going to be v derivative of u minus u derivative of v upon v square. So I hope this formula is ready written in your formula sheets. Okay. Now let us apply this formula here. Okay. So what we'll get is, we have v as it is. So s square plus a square, the derivative of s is going to be 1. Then minus s remains as it is, and the derivative of v, and upon what you get is s square plus a square bracket square. So this is the derivative that we have obtained. Now I hope everybody is getting this one. Are you getting this step?
Yes,
So,
sir.
great.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So minus 1, and let us simplify the numerator. So I'll be having a square plus a square minus 2s square upon s square plus a square, and I'll be having bracket square. Now you can see this is minus 1 times I'll be having minus s square plus a square upon s square plus a square bracket square. Is that okay? So I can absorb this minus sign and I am able to write s square minus a square upon s square plus a square bracket square. So what we got here, this is Laplace transform of f of t, or we obtained the Laplace transform of t into cos of at is equal to s square minus a square upon s square plus a square bracket square. Okay, so this is how we are able to get the Laplace transform of the function t into cos of at. So any one of you have a doubt in the steps that we have seen? Okay, so always remember the formulas,
No doubts.
derivative and integral we require. So I hope there is no doubt. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Will you able to solve more problems based on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll try to go ahead and we'll see the next property. Okay. So what we have, the next property, we need to consider now what is the effect of division by we have to consider what is the effect of division by t on the Laplace transform. So what we have, let Laplace of f of t is equal to f bar of s, then what will be the Laplace of f of t upon t? Okay, that we want to find out. Okay, so this is what we have to find out. Okay, so let us try this. Okay, now one thing you need to understand. See, if I wanted to have t in the multiplication, so what I did, I have considered d by ds of e raised to minus st. So I got minus t into e raised to minus st. So I got this t in the multiplication. Now here what I want is, I want e raised to minus st term should generate the term like this, e raised to minus st upon minus t. What I have to do?
Integration.
Integration.
That's correct. So I have to take the integration. Good. So now remember that if I want to take the integration, then I have to be careful. Okay, because here what we have is, okay, so what we have here, see, let Laplace transform of f of t is equal to f bar of s, and this is the integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. So what I got here, I got f bar of s is equal to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. So I have this integral, and this integral is with the limits. So if I want to integrate this, okay, I should think of the limits, because if I do not consider limit, then I have to add the constant of integration. Okay, and this integration should be with respect to s. Okay, then only I will get this t as the in the division, or t as the constant. So what are the values available for this? Yes. So if I am integrating with respect to yes, then this is a frequency parameter, so it can be 0 and it can be infinity also. Okay. Now remember that if I use 0 to infinity, suppose I choose this limits 0 and infinity. Okay, what will happen? Or if I use 0 and infinity, can you guess the value of this integral? Just try to guess. We don't have to go to the actual value. So if I use 0, then see here, if I use 0, so I will have this constant term. Okay, so if I put s is equal to 0, then I'll have this is a constant term. If I put infinity, then this will vanish. Okay, so at infinity, this is going to be 0, but at 0, it is going to be a constant term. And if it is a constant term, that means s will vanish from here. So no more, this integral will not be a function of s. Okay, so that's why this 0 and infinity is not a good choice. Then what we have to do is, we want s to remain. Okay, and hence we have to split this interval where s will be included. So you have two choices now, 0 to s and s to infinity. So let us see what happens if I consider 0 to s. So if I consider 0 to s, then what will happen? 0 will add an extra term. Okay, because if you put 0, this term will be a constant term. So it will be an addition of the extra term, and hence this is also not a good choice. So this interval is not a good choice, and then the only remaining interval is going to be s to infinity. So I'll be having this is s to infinity. So at infinity, this term will vanish. At s, this term will remain. So I have to integrate this integral, okay, with the limits s to infinity, and hence we go with the, so right here we write integrating above equation with respect to s from s to infinity, we get. So what we are able to get is, see here, this will be s to infinity integral f bar of s ds is equal to, I'll be having, this is integral s to infinity. Please be careful while writing. Use the proper brackets. 0 to infinity. Then I'll have here, this is e raised to minus st f of t dt, and I'll be having ds. Now you know the double integration, and you know what is the order of this integration. So when we consider the order of the integration, we always consider the constant limits outside. So I'll be having 0 to infinity, then I'll be having s to infinity. So it is e raised to minus st f of t Now, while deciding the order is decided by the limits. So here, this s to infinity or variable limits are of s, and the constant limits are of t. Okay. So the first we have to integrate with respect to s, and then we have to integrate with respect to t. So while integrating with respect to s, so we have to consider f of t. This term does not contain any s, and hence we have this is s to infinity. So this is going to be s to infinity e raised to minus st ds and dt. Now we'll integrate this. So this is equal to integral 0 to infinity f of t is going to be f of t, and now integration of this term. So it is e raised to minus st upon minus t, and this is s to infinity, and the integral remains with respect to t. So it is 0 to infinity. Then you have this is f of t, and now apply the limits. So if I apply infinity, then I'll be having this is 0 minus, already I have minus, so it will become plus, and I'll be having e raised to minus st upon t. So this is going to be dt. So we can write this as integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st. F of t is in the denominator. So you can see what we have calculated. We have calculated integral s to infinity f bar of s ds is equal to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st, and this is what you'll be having f of t upon t and dt. So actually, by definition, this term is what? Laplace transform of f of t upon t. So we get here that the Laplace transform. Okay. So we have here hence Laplace transform of f of t upon t is equal to integral s to infinity, and you will be having f bar of s ds. So this way we are able to get the Laplace transform of f of t upon t, and that is nothing but the integral s to infinity f bar of s ds. So what we have calculated is the Laplace transform. So what you have this term, it is going to be integral s to infinity, and you have here this is f bar of s ds. Okay, so this is how we are able to get the effect of division by t. So I hope you understood how we have to do it. So is there any doubt in this property?
No, no, sir.
Okay, that's
No,
great.
sir, no doubts.
Okay, so now let us try some example based on this. Okay, so we'll try an example. We'll find Laplace transform of f of t is equal to sine of at upon t. So these are the elementary functions. So first we do our experiments with the elementary functions only, and then we can consider more functions. So here we want to find the Laplace transform of this function. So what you can have is, let f of t is equal to, we have sine of at upon t. Now, as I have told you earlier, that you must first think of the problem, think of the steps in the problem, and then try to solve it. So here we have to think this problem into two steps. So first is the numerator, second is the denominator. So please be careful. If there are more than one terms in the numerator, then do not separate. Okay, do not separate. Okay, otherwise you will be in trouble. Okay, so we have to be careful. So we have to treat numerator as one function and then denominator as a property. Okay, so let us try this one. So what is the first? We have to find out the Laplace transform of numerator, and then we have to use the property division by t. So what we have here, we have Laplace transform of sine of at, and that is going to be a upon s square plus a square. Okay, so now we consider Laplace transform of f of t, that is equal to Laplace transform of sine of at upon t. So what we got here, because of this property division by t, we have this is integral s to infinity and Laplace of sine t. So we have a upon s square plus a square ds. So please be careful. Here we are integrating with respect to s. So our variable of integration is s. And now this a is being constant. I have the integral s to infinity 1 upon s square plus a square ds. So you have the formula for integration. What is the formula? Integration dx upon x square plus a square. So what is the integration of this?
1
Tan
by 8.
inverse, sir, 1 by tan inverse x by.
What is that? 1 by a. So this term is very important. Okay, so it is 1 by a tan inverse of x by a. So this term is very important. We have to be careful. And hence, what I got here, a 1 by a, and I have here tan inverse of, here I have, this is s. Okay, so instead of x, I have s here. So s by a, and the limits are s to infinity. Now, this a in the bracket and a here will get cancelled. So I'll have only the term. This is going to be tan inverse of s by a, and this is s to infinity. So we got here, this is tan inverse of infinity minus tan inverse of s by a. So if I put infinity, I'll be having infinity, and if I put yes, I'll be having yes. Now tan inverse of infinity is pi by 2 and minus tan inverse of s by a. So those who are able to get up to this is the correct one. Okay, what we got then, this is the Laplace of f of t, or we are finding actually the Laplace of sine of at upon t, and that is equal to pi by 2 minus tan inverse of s by a. So if you know the formula, it is actually cot inverse of s by a. So we got here Laplace transform of sine of at upon t. This is equal to cot inverse of s by a. So we got this. So do you have any problem in this example, or do you have any query in this example?
No, sir, no.
Okay, so all of you have understood this, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you don't have any problem. You have understood this example. You have got the solution for this example also. Okay. Great. So we'll see some more topics in the next lecture.